What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to more Black Desert. My name is John, and today we're going to be talking about the stuff that happened in September, the recent videos and guides that I've put out, as well as progress that I made through September, because a lot of you guys just like seeing updates on what I do throughout the month, and I like sharing it with you guys. So hopefully in this video, in the comments, if you guys have any questions on anything video related, happy to help you guys, or join the Discord and all that stuff as well. So first, we're gonna show you some videos, or I guess like I took a screenshot of this, and we'll talk about some of the recent videos I did, and maybe something might have caught your attention, and then we'll talk about like the goals and stuff that I've done throughout the game in the month. All right, so starting from the bottom right, how I would fix the winter tree fossil grind. So that video is basically talking about one of the spots in the grind, or in the game. So if you've done the Mountain of Eternal Winter, you'll know down here in the Severe Highlands, there's the winter tree fossil. This spot is a little bit different from your standard grind spot, and basically it's wave defenses in a way. So honestly, the spot is not really good, and I talked about how I would buff it and how I would just change it to make it competitive with other things, including like life skilling and other grind spots. So that might be interesting. The next thing we have, or I guess the next few videos on the bottom row, is my seasonal. So if you guys didn't catch up with last month, the permanent season started, and it was for the most part like a good change where seasons are permanent now, and you can start and graduate whenever you want. The way it works is when you're creating a character, they have these little like season tokens or whatever. You'll see like yellow dots at the bottom, and if you have a token, it allows you to create a seasonal character, and then you can build Tuvala and all that stuff just the way you would. But the difference is now that there's no time limit, so new players never feel rushed, which I think that it's a good thing, because there's a lot of information in this game where I think it's easy to catch up, but like if I were to start over in this game, it would be pretty easy for me. But someone just starting out and they don't have the knowledge of like 7 or 8 years of playing as I do, they might struggle a little bit. Plus they don't have the bonuses like energy, the extra consumables that I get, like food and elixirs. So yeah, it's a little bit different when you have journals and everything done, so veteran players obviously do get an advantage. But yeah, I think it's a good thing overall that the season is permanent and people never have to feel rushed to get your gear and everything. And then next one we have is the seasonal. Oh yeah, so this season we played a shy because I wanted to just get that geared up and just try it out for the most part. And yeah, if anyone needs a shy for like Olins or Crypt of Resting Thoughts, hit me up, because I'm trying to get Debos and rich merchant ring pieces as well. So yeah, we hit a tier 10 unicorn as well this month. That was probably the highlight. And I will say, now that I have 2 mythical horses, I still like my Pegasus a lot more. The few things I've been using unicorn on was basically riding myself from Velia to Paddock's Island to grind for the rich merchant ring piece, and that's about it. And then the next video is tips to finishing the season quick and leveling fast. So basically I talked about a lot of spots in this game and how I went about leveling up season. So I could finish the season pass in probably about 3 to 4 hours, for the most part by myself. And like if I were to power level, it's done in like 2 or something. But anyway, for new players, that might be an interesting video for you guys, just to see what I went about doing. And yeah, next we have enhancing Tuvala from Pride to Pen. And basically, if you are a new player and you're wondering what stacks do I use, how do I go about enhancing seasonal gear, that's what I did. You guys can watch it, you can follow along, or you can do whatever you want. It doesn't bother me, but that's just what I do. Next thing we have is History of Marnie Realm good? So as you guys know, throughout the last month or 2, they've been updating a lot of the grind spots, well, more particularly Marnie Realm spots, and they've been like making the Marnie realm smaller, but increasing the respawn time for a lot of spots. So I wanted to do a series where I test a lot of the spots that I talk about, and talk about it from a person who's in the actual AP range. So for example, Histria in that video is a 250 AP zone. So I actually took off gear to see what the average person would feel like grinding there, and I also used like my full gear, which is a lot higher than Histria. So we basically tested it, and if you want to watch my thoughts and opinions of that one, you can find that on the channel. And just I'll tell you if the spots are good, or is it only good if you are lower AP, higher, and whatnot. So yeah, pretty interesting to watch. Next video is how to get more daily loot scrolls. I talked about all the ways you can get it, or at least the relevant ways anyway. And a lot of people have been asking me, how do you get loot scrolls in this game? There we go. You have that video covered. And quite honestly, even if you don't watch the video, it's pretty easy. You just play the game, because just by doing seasons and just logging in and like doing the events, you don't spend any money on loot scrolls, and you just get a lot of them. So that's basically how I do it. I don't think I've ever spent a single dollar on loot scrolls like directly. If they came with a bundle, sure, but like I haven't gone out of my way to just be like, oh, I want loot scrolls, and that's my primarily thing. So yeah, there's a lot of ways to get it for free. That video covers it. Next thing we talked about is an intro to farming. So farming is one of the life skills in this game, as you guys may imagine. And I talked about the benefits of actually doing it. Is it worth it? And should you go about doing it? And just to give you a TLDR of that video, it's basically if you know what you're doing with the materials or byproducts that you get off of farming, then it's useful, because, well, you're actually using it in a goal for whatever. But then if you're not, then it's probably not useful. But once again, if you do a lot of things in this game, it might be useful because you're turning product A into B, and then it's hard to get it elsewhere. Next thing we have is the weekly bosses, which is, I think that event might still be going on. And we just go over all the Land of the Morning Light bosses and just talk about thoughts and opinions of various things. So you guys can check that out as well. That was pretty cool. And it's one of those videos where it's not like a guide or anything. We just talk about random things. It's one of those chill videos where I just give you my thoughts and opinions on various updates and things coming out. So you can check that out. Next we have Beginner to Guru Alchemy Guide. So as you guys know, alchemy is a time-consuming life skill, and it's actually a lot longer than cooking because there's no mass processing. So I went about how to go starting alchemy from like beginner all the way to guru, just in case you're trying to go for certain goals or anything, or just trying to level it up. So you guys can watch that if you're interested in trying to level up alchemy in the future, and just tips that I would use to get there. Next video we had is life skill XP versus mastery. So for all of you life skillers out there, you're probably wondering, gathering XP, or not gathering, but like XP versus mastery. And I talked about every single life skill, which one is better, whether it's mastery or gathering from a profit perspective. And sometimes things might be just better to get XP on. Some things are generally better to get mastery on. So you can watch my thoughts and opinions on that one. We do have timestamps in it as well. I know it's a longer video, but you guys can check that out as well. And our final video for this one is my crystal setup version 4. Every time we do some notable changes to my crystals, I try to give an update just so you guys can check that out as well. And we talked about this from a beginner perspective all the way to an endgame player. So if you're on a budget, or you have like 20 billion silver and just want to buy crystals, here's what you can get. And I chose options for people who are looking to get into crystals, so beginners all the way to endgame. So I think it's something that everyone can actually learn from, and not just high-end players. So I think that was pretty cool to watch. So that's pretty much it. Yeah, so those are the recent videos and the highlights in the past like 2 weeks. So with that said, here's what I've been doing in game. as you guys know, we are level 65 at 37%. I've been slowly trying to push 66, but it's just so slow. And the only reason I'm doing that is because we have a 500% XP buff going on. And slowly but surely, I'm just trying to do like an hour or two of grinding a day and then leveling things up. So, as well as I've been using the tag character thing. So if you grind and you get XP on another character as well. So the progress I've been doing is I got my Mystic to 62, my Shy, which is the seasonal character that we did, 62, and the Sage to 62. I think the next one I might be doing is Ranger, and then I might either do a Nova or Valk as my next ones. So yeah, grinding a lot, doing various grind spots, and other things that I've been slowly prepping was trying to do something that I've been doing the past few months, which is so we have our Tet Debo in the base, and we're just trying to save up Cronstones now because I do want to get this to pen at some point, fingers crossed. But eventually the goal is to get a pen Debo, and obviously that's a very end game item to the point where it's very expensive to make. So we're just saving up crons. We did get a rich merchant ring piece this month. It was from Ash Forest, as you may imagine. And I've been trying to grind out some other spots as well to get them, which is also why I made a Shy through seasonals, and then that's already done. So I think all 5 merchant ring pieces come from Ash Forest, Paddock's Island, Crypt of Resting Thoughts, Olin's, and Upper Sakraya. So those are all 5 pieces. And eventually I want to get the things done and just do it. So yeah, that's one of the goals. And then next one we have is, I guess, buying another Debo. I think I'll probably go for the belt next, and then I'll just buy it at Tet. And then same way we're doing with the necklace, buying it and then grinding bases and slamming and hoping for the best. So yeah, like if they ever become more popular and I could just buy them off the market for 300, I would absolutely just grind more. But as of right now, Debos for pen is very difficult to get, and yeah, it's just one of those things you just takes a lot of time. So what else have we been doing? In that alchemy video, I talked about my elixirs that I've used as well. So party elixirs, and then all the other things to help you level up to Guru. So very interesting endgame topic for high-end grinders, endgame players. I also got one of these things actually the other day, and these millennial ginsengs, and I was like, do I want to use it or sell it? And it's 6 bill, but they don't really like, it's really for an endgame player, because what it does is for 90 days, 3 months essentially, you get permanent stats, and then you see this like blue icon up here. It'll be another one for the ginseng, so I've seen other people use it, and that's how I know what it looks like. But basically it just gives you max energy, all resistances, HP, stamina, and recovery, weight. So it's really good. It's worth the 6 billion. But I'm just trying to find a time where I think I want to like go hard and actually use it for 3 months. So I'm just going to hold on to it for now. I do think that if you are a newer player or like someone who's not at endgame, it probably isn't as relevant, and you should probably just sell it for 6 billion. But it's one of those things where if you think you need it, you should probably use it. So still holding on to that. It's a pretty exciting thing, and I got my first one the other day after probably hundreds of hours of gathering. So that's kind of rare. Yeah, after that, I think our goals for October, obviously grinding out more silver, and then I guess just saving up for either a Debo belt, or I heard the Ator's boots, which is basically the equivalent of the Fallen God, Labresca, and Dawn, is the final piece, which is the shoes coming out next. And I think I feel like I should start grinding, like, and buying costumes, so we have costumes ready to start slamming it when this comes out. But I don't actually know when that's happening, and I don't know. I guess I'm just saving silver for now, and then we'll just buy it later. So yeah, the gains at my level are very slow. The goal is to get a Pendebo, which will replace my Ogre Ring. And then once I sell that back, I could get a, I don't know, how much are ogres nowadays? Like 70 billion? 80 billion minus tax. So after tax is probably like 65. If assuming I were to sell it for like 81, I'd probably get like 65, 66 billion back after taxes. So that's a good chunk of change. And then, yeah. So we've just been saving up Cron stones and everything. We have about 6,000 and good stuff. So hopefully we get it. And it's a lot of the progress I've been making, just been grinding, trying to level up, slowly but surely push 66 on my main. And realistically, after 62, it doesn't really matter. Like, yeah, you get some stats on the side, but like, it's not notable to the point where it's like, oh, it's gonna save me from getting one-shotted in PvP. No, it's not happening. It's just like, here, you get 10 extra HP or something. That's cool. I mean, whatever. So it's just one of those accomplishment things that you can say you've done. And yeah, that's about it. Grinding, saving silver. Here's the goals for October. And I think throughout October, we're going to do some more enhancing videos. Maybe we'll do another click of Pendebo attempt at some point whenever I get another like 5,000 Cron somewhere. And yeah, expect more of those. Are those Marnie Realm videos worth it? Because I actually do grind all the spots that when I make a video of these spots are good for XP and silver, you know, those like best places to grind videos I've done. Yeah, it's because I actually test those spots on like people who are just like looking up guides and is like, you never know, because I actually do those videos and you guys can actually watch them. So with that said, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions or anything, feel free to leave it in the comments. I do read them. Or if you have something you want to ask, just join the Discord, and that's also a good way to reach out to me. And yeah, that's about it. So once again, hopefully you guys enjoyed everything. Hit that subscribe button if you're new, and it's all I wanted to talk about. So see you tomorrow. Peace.